Hello world, and welcome back, or welcome if you are new here. We're going to touch on a couple of things before we get started. This is not going to be the first thing that we talk about. First thing I'm going to say is, if you have not done so today already, here's your friendly daily reminder to go sign petitions, contact your representatives, donate financially if you are able. If you are not, go and open one of the many fundraising YouTube videos that support the Black Lives Matter movement. I will link a playlist right up over there. You can just open it in a new tab, silence the video, and let it go while you go about whatever it is that you are doing. It is the easiest possible thing that you can do, and we need to be continually, constantly, consistently supporting Black people in this country and the globe. Shall we? Let's. So, this is a thing that I did. Last time you saw me in a video that is no longer even up, I had a nice severe fade type of deal where I had shaved all of my head except for the top, so I had this very long mohawk type of thing going on, which I liked a lot. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad I did it. I was fulfilling my dreams from when I was 17 years old, living the best quarantine life possible. But I knew that it was not a hairstyle I wanted to maintain. I have helped Dee with their hair for a while, maintaining the undercut, so I know that it requires maintenance to keep the under part short, and I wasn't interested in doing that. So I told myself I had to wait at least a month for it to grow out, drive me crazy, and then I could do the rest of it, and that is what I did. I waited exactly 1 month and then immediately chopped it all off. I don't regret it, but I do a tiny bit for two reasons. One, growing this out is gonna be the worst hair puberty experience of my life. And two, historical context. Because this is just so reminiscent of boot camp, which makes me uncomfortable, and neo-Nazis, which, so that's a thing. That's all we need to say about it. It's really easy to wash. It's really easy to maintain. That's the point of a quarantine haircut. We're just gonna go with it. I am here today to bring you the mid-year freak out tag. I don't actually even remember who is the person on BookTube who started the mid-year freak out tag. The first one that I saw come through my subscription feed was Mayana Reads, so that's where I'm getting this from, and the reminder that, oh yeah, that's a thing that people do. Best book you've read so far in 2020. I could not contain myself. I have 5 picks. Books that I have selected are Into the Drowning Deep by Sean McGuire under the Mara Grant pen name, Smash It by Francina Simone. We'll be talking about that a lot in this video. Look forward to it. All Systems Red by Martha Wells. I have already mentioned that in a previous video. Ninth House by Lee Bardugo. I have also mentioned that in a previous video. And This Is How You Lose the Time War by, I'm gonna get their names wrong, Amal El Motar and Max Gladstone. Also, I want to acknowledge the fact that I realize that there is a lot of background noise happening right now. We're filming outside. I live in a highly urban neighborhood. It is what it is. Best sequel you've read so far. I have actually read hardly any sequels this year so far, so this was a little bit tricky. I have selected Heartstopper Volume 2 by Alice Oseman. I read Volume 1 and Volume 2 earlier this year. It's super cute. I don't think I need to get into too much detail because it is wildly popular on BookTube and the wider internet. I didn't read the physical copies of these. I actually read the webcomic, which you can go and read for free. I just looked up which chapters of the webcomic were in Volume 1 and then in Volume 2, and those are the only ones that I've read. New release you haven't gotten to yet. For that, I'm gonna go with Network Effect by Martha Wells. This is the latest installment in the Murderbot series. This is the first full-length novel. The rest are all novellas. Most anticipated new release, not yet out. Smash It by Francina Simone. Shall we? So before saying anything about this book, I'm gonna go ahead and link to, I have not done the research before filming this video, so this is gonna sound really dumb if I didn't yet, but hopefully I'll be linking to some own voices, reviews and reactions to this work, because while I absolutely loved it, mine is not the most valuable voice to speak about this book, so that is the thing I'm gonna do. This book is so damn good though. Is an Own Voices coming of age story about what it's like to be 17, interested in sex and relationships and wanting to learn how to navigate those things, and wanting to not be afraid anymore, wanting to be brave and live your truth and do things that make you happy even when they scare the crap out of you. And it is so goddamn good. I wish so much that I had had this book when I was a teenager still, because this is such a beautiful and powerful and necessary story about...
Hey, Editing Carmen here, coming at you with woke up at 7:30 in the morning face. I wanted to interject two things that I failed to articulate effectively in this video. The first being that the reason I'm talking about Smash It, the reason I got to read it, is I had the opportunity to read a digital arc of this through NetGalley. Thank you so much to NetGalley for the opportunity to read this book. But because I have not yet done the research that I said I was going to do, I don't actually know who in the book community on the internet has had the opportunity to read an arc of this book, so I don't actually know that any Black creators have had the opportunity. I read it because I have a NetGalley account and I saw it come up as a thing that was being offered through NetGalley, and I requested it myself because I am familiar with Francina Simone and I knew that she was writing this book, and I was shocked to see it. I never thought that I would get the opportunity to read it because I am the smallest of small-time book people on the internet, and then I had the opportunity to read it. But I didn't want to just post this and assume that, of course, I'll find some Own Voices people talking about this book. Of course. Because that's not an of course. Like I said, I would be really surprised if that was the case. But it was important to me to interject this, and also I didn't say how I got to read this. Number two is that I, as you can see, have a very emotional response to this book. It meant a lot to me. I love it a lot. But I want to be clear that I fully recognize and understand that my experience as a teenager and as a person in general is completely different than Liv's because I am white. There's a lot of differences there. And while the theme of being afraid and letting that fear dictate what you do in your life, and being sick and tired of not living your dreams and trying new things and experimenting and breaking out of your comfort zone because you're afraid, is something that resonates very, very strongly with me. That's something I dealt with a lot as a teenager. It's something I have dealt with a lot as an adult, continue to deal with. So I'm going to say this word a lot. It resonated very, very strongly for me, but I do fully recognize, acknowledge, understand that while this is a commonality that people can share, my lived experience is going to be completely different than any person of colors, and certainly any Black person. And I did not manage to get those words past my lips in the actual content of this video. So, cheers. Wish me luck in finishing editing this half-hour-long video and putting together a description that is halfway coherent. I will talk to y'all later. Bye.
Learning to find yourself and learning to honor what your heart wants. It's just, like I said, I am so thrilled and honored that I had the opportunity to read a digital arc of this. I cannot wait until it is physically published so I can have it on my shelf. Biggest disappointment of the books that I actually finished reading, so not including any DNFs, the biggest disappointment would definitely be Meddling Kids by Edgar Quintaro. The book was just so bad. I think I explained it decently well in my Goodreads review, which I will hopefully remember to link down in the description. I enjoyed the process of reading the book but it is so problematic and so appropriative and so transphobic and lesbophobic, and just concept of eldritch humor is so unique and so good. And why was it this though? Favorite new author, I have two. The first is Angie Thomas, because I read The Hate You Give for the first time this year and it was, hello, plane. 2, C.B. Lee. I read Not Your Sidekick for the Asian Readathon in May, and this book was spectacular. I cannot wait to get to the sequel, and I think that the series is continuing, I hope. Biggest surprise. Now I could say Meddling Kids once again. I'm not going to. What I'm actually gonna go with is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I love Leigh Bardugo's writing, but I was very hesitant about this book because first we had like the wave of hype for it. Leigh Bardugo was writing something not in the Grisha universe. She's writing something that's clearly into the adult realm, something that's supposed to be very dark and very gritty, discussions and controversy over the content warnings. Then it actually came out and people started reading it and talking about it. Overall, the general response that I found to the book was people felt confused, they felt let down, they felt that it had been overhyped. I was really unsure how I would feel about it, and I enjoyed it a lot. It was sitting at a 4-star read for me for the majority of the book, and then got to the climax and it got that last star. It skyrocketed. It was so good. I love Ninth House so much. I think the thing that would have been really helpful for me and might be helpful for others is to know that this is a very noir story. It has a lot of noir themes and noir tropes, but it's done with not a sad white dude protagonist. Newest fictional crush. I'm not that kind of person, so I'm combining this with the next question, which is your newest favorite character, because it's mostly just like I love this character and I want to hold them and protect them and keep them forever. And that is Murderbot. Murderbot, Murderbot, socially awkward Murderbot. I am not kidding when I say that I have never related to a character more in my life than Murderbot. A book that made you cry. Hands down, that would be The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. Book that made you happy. Am I gonna say smash it? Again? Why, yes. Yes, I am. Most beautiful book you've bought this year. So I have been buying a few more books in 2020 than I typically buy throughout the year, but they have predominantly not been like really visually stunning. But I did get myself a copy of Slay, which is one of the most beautiful covers in existence. And lastly, what books do you still need to read this year? So I am still in the middle of some of my reads for Pride Month, but those are a little bit lower priority than the 3 I have written down. First 2 are books that I intend to read for the 48-hour Juneteenth Blackathon, which I intend to participate in as best as I am able. First one is gonna be All Boys Aren't Blue by George Johnson. Everyone on BookTube has been talking about this. I realized it was available from my library. The audiobook is pretty short, so I'm hoping that I can get through it in maybe a day if I'm really lucky, or just over a day. We'll see. And then, assuming I am able to finish that within the 48 hours of the readathon, I'm going to continue listening to the audiobook of The Stars and the Blackness Between Them by Junauda Petrus, which I started earlier this year. I wasn't able to finish it. It is beautiful. Again, another very popular book on BookTube, so I don't want to get too much into the details about it, but those are my picks for that readathon. I don't think that I can finish both of these books in 48 hours. I'm pretty confident I can't finish both of these books in 48 hours, but that's what I'm going to be focusing on for that weekend. The only other book that I would really like to get to in June, because trying to think past June, that's asking too much of me, is Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. Now, I am aware that there is some controversy around the author. I do not know the full details. It is something that I need to and intend to research before starting on this read. I don't know, but that's the only other one that I'm gonna mention. There's obviously tons more books that I would like to read this year, but all of that is stuff that we can wait and talk about in the future. For now, I will close the video with another reminder to sign petitions, contact your representative, donate if you can, money, time, or just watch a fundraiser video. Thank you very much for watching. I look forward to seeing so many more mid-year freakout tags from other humans. Let me know down in the comments if you have read any of the books that I just talked about, if you would like to talk about them with me. That would be fun. And until next time.